Hello, friends. Good to be with you today. I'm actually kind of like the idea of doing YouTube. It's I get to like talk to myself. You know, when you only have a microphone, you or you're just like recording your voice, you're not really looking at anything in particular. You're just kind of like da 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 da. And you're just telling the curtains da da da. You're just teaching to nobody. But when you record a video, even though I'm always imagining my listeners out there, on a walk or doing laundry or on their lunch break or in the car from the podcast with a YouTube channel, when you do a video, I'm like looking at me and I'm like, oh, there's like this person who I wish I could have told her 10, 20, 30 years ago all these things. And so I get to pretend like I'm looking at you when I look at me, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, that's the beginnings of something a little bit new and scary. Anyway, you like my hat? My husband went to Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and saw my daughter and was teaching there, and we used to live there, so that's why he brought me back. Thank you, Sean. So today I want to talk about the fact that if you're called to be a coach, you've already been coaching. I haven't met anybody yet who I've had a consultation with or who has been my client or has just asked me questions about coaching who has the interest in coaching, who, as I asked questions about it, hasn't already been coaching. Like it's naturally what they do. They have just been functioning in it from the place of the it's they're needing an identity shift. They're helping, they are coaching, they're just not doing it in a very like intentional way. They're not doing it in a way that seems to be clear. There's no clarity about it. They're just doing it. It's just happening to them. They're doing it by default. And when I get to help them understand that and they see, oh, I've actually been doing this thing, I'm called to do it, and I could be intentional about doing it, like not just listening to people really well and asking really great questions and extracting information and inviting things within other people to rise to the surface and helping them get to the roots and helping them to get different results and helping them to think differently and helping them develop a strategy, or even sometimes doing the consultant coach thing like I do, where it's like, hey, you have no idea how to start a business. I do. And so I'm going to consult you on a strategy of how to go from point A, I don't have a business, to point B, I do have a business. And I can actually teach you how to do that. But along the way, I coach you because you're going to hit mental barriers. Your brain's going to tell you it's too hard, we shouldn't do it, it's too late, I'm an imposter, like who's going to want something from me? And I can help coach you. That's the life coaching side of it. But then also I can do the business coaching and say, do you want to call it this or call it that? I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I just can open up possibilities and say, here's one strategy. It's like putting into the map, I want to go from home to the grocery store, and then the map will give you multiple routes. You get to decide which one it is. That's consultant coaching. And a lot of people have been doing it already, and they're doing it in the context of, like I say, the parking lot of a church, or the grocery store. And I went and got a massage yesterday, and I coached the entire 90 minutes. Afterwards, she was like, do you want to trade coaching for massaging? And I was like, my dream. Yes. Thank you. And Chrissy, when you eventually listen to this episode, yes, my answer is yes. I think trading coaching for massaging is fantastic. So, and I think as a coach, one of the benefits is that when you work for yourself, is you get to quit earlier in the day and go get a massage, and one of your clients paid for it, and you are a better coach and a happier person because of it. Especially when you're doing a lot of work in a situation like this where you're in a chair and you're looking at a computer and you're building your business and you're meeting your clients on Zoom and you are stressed and you're wearing shoulders for earrings and you're doing all of these things that cause you to breathe shallowly and get cricks in your neck, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're not sleeping well because either you're in perimenopause or maybe you just like have a lot of creative ideas and you can't stop working. Anyway, so many reasons for you to go get a massage occasionally, okay? So you are probably doing a lot of things. If you're listening to this episode, you're probably doing a lot of things already if you're actually called a coach, or if you have the skill set to coach and you could coach, you've probably been doing a lot of the things already. And I want to give you permission to become intentional about it, to step into it further. I want to tell you that it's okay to have a revelation moment, an aha moment where you say, I have been doing this a long time, and I'm being told that I have an invitation and permission to do something intentional with it. Like, go for it. Walk people through hard things. Be a guide. Just be 1 or 2 steps ahead of somebody. Be 10 steps ahead of somebody. It really doesn't matter. Like, just be willing, but be intentional about it. Put it into the format of coaching. If you want to call it mentoring, go ahead, but do it. Be intentional about it. Tell people that it's something that you can do, that you can help them with. People are waiting for you to tell them that you can help them, that you'd walk with them, that you know things. You want to help them know what they know that they haven't thought about yet, right? And a lot of times, coaches who aren't in that haven't gone through that identity shift. They're still helping a lot of people, but they're not coaching. They are helping people naturally everywhere that they go, or people are coming to them a lot and asking them for help and guidance and counsel or input or strategy, or how did you do that? Like, could you show me how you did it? They're doing that a lot, and they might hesitate to call themselves a coach because, one, sometimes people just don't know what a coach is. That's understandable. Listen to my podcast, I'll help you figure it out. I call it two umbrellas: sports coaching, life coaching. And I think if it's not sports, it falls under the life coaching umbrella. And that is everything in your life. And there is a business in your life, there's careers in your life, there's relationships and health and finances and mindset and health. I said that, fitness. There's all these things where coaching is about you and your life, and all those things fit under that umbrella. And those are niches and groups of people who need help in certain areas of their life. And maybe you can help in all of them as a general life coach by helping people change the results, by helping them change their mind. Maybe you dial in on something because you've specifically gone from point A to point B. You've gotten great results. You've overcome something. You've gone through something, and you want to help people do the same thing and you want to guide them. So that's all under life coaching. And then there's the sports coaching. I mean, I guess maybe there's other types of coaching that are not everything about you and your life and sports. I'm just not sure what those would be. So anyway, let's stick with the two umbrellas. And we can only have two rain clouds at one time. We need two umbrellas. Everything else falls underneath it. And it's understandable that sometimes people just have never heard of this, that this is a concept, that life coaching is even a thing, or that there's niches inside of life coaching. And then sometimes people go, life coaching sounds really dumb. Who needs a coach? And that's just, there's a level of unawareness or lack of value for it. Those are just not coaches, number one, or at least not coaches yet, or they don't need to be a coaching client because they just don't see the value in it. But that's a lot of times, those both of those are just a level of unawareness. But then when people become aware that they want some transformation, they want a different results than they're getting, they want to change in their profession, or they need help managing their money mindset because they are getting the results that they don't want to get. All of those things, when they get that, they become aware that there's a problem. They're problem aware. And then they become aware that there are ways to help themselves, that there are things that they could do, that it's possible to not stay stuck in the problem. Then they become aware that there's a solution. It's called coaching. And then or they go from unaware to I'm aware of a problem to I'm aware of coaching could help me to I'm aware that a specific type of coaching could help me. And then I become aware that this person offers that type of coaching that could help me specifically. It's called the 5 levels of customer awareness. You can study it out. Um, and then when you get through there, like when you understand that you have the same awareness situation, you're either unaware that you're a coach or that you could be a coach and that you could be creating different results in your life if you go from helping people to intentionally coaching them and then being able to give it language and then giving them a specific offer where they can invest in it and be really engaged and invested in the work that they're doing, right? So when they do that, then they can shift to, I want this kind of coaching. I want some health coaching. I want some relationship, some marriage coaching, some teen girl coaching. I want mindset coaching. And I want business coaching. I want to start a business. Great. And then they do some research and they Google and they go, who's a lot of my clients, they Google, I want to become a Christian life coach, or I want a Christian life coach or Christian business coach. And then that's how they find me, or and they find my podcast, YouTube channel, website, ways to work with me. And then people start absorbing like all of the information and content out there, and they get to know, like, and trust, and then choose to work with you. So people hesitate to call themselves a coach for many different reasons. One of them could be just that imposter syndrome and all of the, I just have to wait for somebody to tell me to do it. I have to wait for somebody to prove to me that I'm ready to do it. I have to wait till I'm ready with more certifications and trainings. I have to, whatever. If that's your belief system and your mindset, you need to go get coaching so that you can become a product of coaching even as you are learning to become a coach and build a coaching business, you need to be a client of coaching so that you can work through your own belief systems. You cannot help other people with their belief systems if you cannot change your own belief systems. You can't help people change their mindset if you have no ability, tools, or belief that you can change your own mindset. So it's time to become a coach. And as a coach, you need to self coach and you need to invest in coaching and you need to believe in coaching. And these are just part of the process. Because if you are already helping people and you're already, quote, coaching them in the parking lot, then the work is already happening, but you are just not getting the sense of accomplishment. They're not getting the follow up that a coach would give them. They don't have any accountability. They have no investment or engagement in continuing the work and getting real results and transformation because they're doing it over time. They're just getting somebody's help in the parking lot. And a lot of times you'll see that next week when they come into the parking lot, they haven't changed anything or there's only been slight changes in their results. When your identity is still, I'm a helper, I just help people and I do it for free, you can stay that way totally. And there's nothing wrong with that unless you want different results. You just can't complain about the results you're getting if you decide that that's the way you want to run things. If you want to stay helping people in the parking lot, you can do that. Just own your decision. If you like your reasons for doing it, keep doing it. But if you don't like the reasons for doing it and you feel that there is a reason to become more invested in how you show up, then you need to change the way that you're thinking about it and how you feel and what you do so that you get different results. So, coaching isn't just about being somebody who's caring or compassionate, it's actually stepping into greater responsibility and leadership, not just for them, but for yourself, right? And a lot of women and men as well are already in natural, like helping roles and helping industry, and their friends call them for advice. And like I said, people at church asking for your perspective, coworkers are saying, can you help me with this problem I have, or help me make decisions, things like that. You're, you have people already in front of you and kind of looking for you to be a good listener and ask questions and not be all about you, but be about them. When you have a conversation with somebody and you're telling them about you, and then they say, oh, I totally get that because I have the same situation. That can't be a coaching relationship. I can give expressions of like what's happened in my life or my business, and I can tell somebody an example of something in a teaching capacity, but I can't banter back and forth like a friend and be a coach if all I'm doing is saying, yes, I know exactly what you're doing, and I have a lot of empathy for that, and now I want to talk about me. I can share what I've experienced with you so that I can say, extract something from it and say, what's that look like for you? Now that I give you this example and you understand the concept I'm trying to teach you, what does it look like for you? Let's lay that out, that model, that template or formula that I gave you for my example and lay it out for you if that it's like sharing a metaphor of some kind, you know? So you when you're helping somebody see situations differently, when you're trying to help people go forward and be goal oriented, help them stay accountable, you're doing things, you're like the Bible talks about carrying each other's burdens. That's part of kind of like an informal coaching pattern. Again, totally okay. But there's so much you could do if you develop what you're doing informally into something that is more structured, and you'll get greater results out of it. You'll enjoy it. You'll actually get like tangible results and intangible future legacies that you build. And so will the people that you're helping, because you actually have a way to be able to not just do the work today, but see them again next week and say, what happened when you did that? Oh, did you try that? Oh, like that's awesome. Those are results. Let's build on that. Let's keep the momentum going. And I think a lot of people just who have been drawn to coaching, they've been doing it for years. They're just not calling it that. So, um, usually when I'm doing my podcast, I'm just like looking at my bullet points, like things I just want to make sure that I kind of cover, like verses that I think apply to what I'm talking about, things like that. Recording on a video for YouTube that's going to be a podcast is so different because you get to see like how scattered I am when I'm looking around while I talk and how much I use my hands. I'm not Italian in any way. Um, yeah, so identity barriers are another reason why I say it's really important to be a product of your own coaching and believe in coaching by being somebody who invests in getting coached. I think it's really difficult to be a great coach if you've never been coached. I think it's really difficult to believe at such a deep root level about coaching if you don't get coached. If you don't believe in the investment, I don't know how you can ask other people to make an investment to let you coach them. So I want you to challenge any belief systems that you have about, well, I would coach people because I'm really good at helping people, but I don't want help. And I wouldn't invest in coaching. I don't believe in it enough to do that. Then you need to challenge some things in your own life and your belief system before you go into coaching. You need to ask yourself, why would I invest in asking people to invest in me if I'm not willing to invest in the very work that I'm promoting, right? And again, sometimes it's that imposter syndrome, but that doesn't go away until your belief about it goes away. It doesn't matter what you do and the results you create and how much money you make and what neighborhood you live in. That never changes if the belief system of imposter syndrome, fear of anything, fear of man, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of more, fear of less, whatever those things are that are the root system behind the imposter syndrome, it will be there at every level of success or failure. And so until you manage your own mind, which is what coaching is literally there for, that's the only way you can really help yourself overcome imposter syndrome is by changing your mind about it. But it's the thing that makes you feel like you're unqualified, you're not legitimate, and giving away your authority when you believe other people have more authority than you do, or you should give your authority away to other people. You kind of set yourself up to act like an imposter, even if nobody else sees you as an imposter. People are afraid of being seen. And I think we talked about this in the last episode, but that concern about becoming visible to people and like what people are think, the judgment, the rejection, the comments. Turn the comment section off. It's you want the right people who care about you and enjoy you and the way you create and what you have to offer. And it's that negativity bias says that we all have. It says, okay, here's the deal. We have one person who left a negative comment, even semi negative, or even just like, eh. And we had 10 people who said, I love that content, or I'm so excited about what you are saying or doing or offering. But our negativity bias, it leaves this deeper groove in our brain about the one. So don't read them. Don't read the ones that start off like, oh my gosh, I can't listen. I can't even listen to your voice. Well, I probably can't handle yours either. It's okay. It's no big deal. I love you. I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. I'm just going to say, like, if I could have told myself that a long time ago, I would have saved myself a lot of heartache. So, the discomfort of a couple of things. Number one, having authority and responsibility and being a leader, being a teacher, a content creator, and a coach, business owner, all of those things. There's authority in that. And some people are just really uncomfortable. And so they're helping people all of the time, but they're resisting stepping into actual coaching for the reason that they, like, it's authority discomfort. They have difficulty stepping into leadership. They feel more comfortable being a behind the scenes, number two, servant. But when you realize how much value you bring with your skill set, who you are, what you're called to do, your strengths, wisdom, life experience, all of the things into coaching, when you realize the value of that and how you can really truly help so many people because you show up and you guide and you lead and you speak up, you use your voice, and you reveal the character and nature of God that only you can reveal because it's how you look like Him. When you do that, you are serving and stewarding what you've been given to bring to the world, how you bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. So it is servanthood. You are serving by offering to help people as a coach. There's also the discomfort of success. And if this is home, success is over here, and failure's over here, they're the same distance. They're just as far away from home. This comfort, this neutral, this I want to protect myself. Success is as far away from home as failure is. So sometimes people are afraid to succeed because it's very uncomfortable. And so people will say, like, I'm afraid of failing, but you can also be afraid of succeeding. That's okay. Get coached. You're going to have clients who have the same thing. When you overcome these things through coaching and you learn how to coach yourself through them, then you can actually have something to, you'll know what kind of questions to ask. You'll know what kind of encouragement to give when your clients are facing the same thing. And there's always the comparison, and I will always say comparison gives you two kinds of fruit, right? That tree can only offer you pride or pain. You're better than or you're less than. So when you're looking at other people and saying, oh, they have more experience, they have more reason, they have more charisma, they have more, they were born to do this, blah, 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 blah. You know, when you look at other people and you compare them where they're at and decide that you are more than or less than, it's never helpful. So stop it. Just shut your brain. And when you assume that other people are more credible than you, sometimes they are. And not everybody wants those people. Not everybody will find those people. There are people who will find you, and they need you to be there when they walk by. Like, if you don't put your business in this building right here in front of this door, all the people who walk by, they're not going to be able to find you. So if you never make yourself a coach and you never make it possible for people to find you and work with you, then they all miss out on who you are. And that points to that underlying belief, struggle of who am I to do this? Well, who are you to say you shouldn't do it? If you're called to it, pray about it and ask, like, is this what the Lord's called you to do? And if He is, who are you to not do this? Who are you to decide that you don't do the thing that He's called you to do, equipped you to do, gifted you in doing? Who are you to decide? Are you the potter or the clay? Go ask the potter if you're the potter or the clay. And then if you're the clay, and you determine that, then what does the potter say that the clay is supposed to do? Are you supposed to be a plate, a cup, a toothbrush holder, a mug? Like, ask him, who are you and what are you called to do? What is your calling in this world based on who you are? If you can ask the Lord to show you, who am I? What's my true identity? Who do you say I am? It will help, it'll be the foundation to the question, what am I supposed to do here? Like, what's my purpose? What's fulfilling to me that serves the world, brings the kingdom of heaven to earth? And then when you find out, I am clay, I am designed to be a coffee mug. The person, the people who are want to drink out of that mug will buy the mug. Then you find out where you belong and you end up sitting on the right person's desk or coffee table, right? So if you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're called to, then you will not be able to find out where you belong and you will wander all of the days of your life like we do by default without intention. You'll just wander around saying, like, I wish I knew where my people were. I wish I could find my tribe. I don't know where the village is. So, who am I to do this is a question you need to take to the Lord, because who are you to do this is answered throughout the Bible. I'm not going to pull up all the stories and everything, but I'm just saying that there's all of these blocks. There's so many blocks, and you don't have to live under these, stuck behind and underneath these barriers that are holding you back from shifting from helper to coach. Step forward and take on the posture of a leader who guides conversations with intention and challenges people's thinking and teaches and consults and develops all of it so that they can coach people and hold them accountable to take action and get new results, and invites Holy Spirit into being, into the tools to be the real transformation, because you are stewarding influence that you already have. You're just stewarding it really well when you put it into a container of coaching, and it's taking responsibility for the space that you're occupying, that God, the place that God has put you, right? You're the light of the world, and a town on a hill can't be hidden, right? Matthew 5:14. So think about this and recognize the calling that's already present on your life. If it is, if you've made it this far into the episode, you probably, there's a good chance that there's something pulling on your heart, tugging on your soul, and the spirit within you is like, yeah, I think that there's something here, and I want to like think about it, and I want to talk about it, and I want to pursue it, and I want to hear from the Lord about it. So you're probably going to sense it before you know how to name it. You might have already been sensing it in the past, and maybe this exact moment is when you're naming what it is you've been doing, right? And if you have a constant desire to help people, if you can't not help people, that's a struggle of mine. And if people seek you out for help, then there's a pretty good chance. So, um, that shift, going from like informal coaching or informal influencing and helping to intentional coaching, means that you just have to recognize where you already have some influence, identify the places, the times, the patterns, the people where you're guiding people and helping them, and then start to structure that work and like actually have intentional conversations with people about the results they want to create or something, and ask them like, what are your goals, and have we already talked about things that have moved you from point A to like halfway to point B? Like, help them determine what kind of work they've already done if you have already been helping them in the parking lot, right? And offer something that's more of a defined coaching space. Let's meet up for coffee and really focus on this. Let's really talk about what it looks like to reach your goal or change the results you're getting or do something different, pivot, or ask that for that promotion. Let's actually get really specific right now and think about what it looks like to be responsible for this change or this journey, and help them take personal ownership of the work that they're doing, but you take personal ownership of your role as a guide. So, yeah, I think that if you are called to coach, that a lot of coaches who aren't walking in that yet really underestimate what you're already carrying. And I just want to encourage you that a lot of times you are already doing something that you're made to do before you call it a profession, and that's okay. You're not late. You can do this. It's still okay to step into it now, even though you haven't been doing it. And it's not like you're shifting from nothing to something because you've been doing it. We're just getting it clear and we're creating a strategy so it's more, it has greater results. There's greater fruit, right? So you probably already have like the trunk of the tree and maybe a couple of branches, but let's do something to actually nourish the root system so that we start bearing good fruit and growing leaves and more branches and flowers and fruit on the tree. And then you're going from that informal helping to intentional leadership and guidance and coaching. And if you feel called to that, look at what you've already been doing. Lay it out. Just write it down a little bit. Talk, like, make a list of all the people that you've been helping. What kind of things do they keep asking you for? And it can be really general, it can be very specific. If you get really specific, look at and see if all the specificity that you see can actually be categorized into more general categories, because this evidence is the evidence of this calling is already present in your life, and we're not trying to start something new. We're just trying to create, take take some next steps to create a container for what you're already doing and what you're called to. So I bless you. I pray for you that you would hear the Lord speak to you about your true identity and the calling on your life, and begin to believe and develop a root system that of belief that says, you know what, there's something within you that people want and need. And that's where you're going to find that belonging that your soul has been longing for. And I love doing that, like identity, purpose, and belonging. It's these three big questions of the human soul. And until you answer them, there's the biggest questions of a teenager. First of all, if you have teenagers in your life, this is what they're asking themselves. Help them answer it, and not with your answers. Help them answer it by seeking out the Lord and what does He say? It all stems from who the Father says you are. Because who He says you are, it is the feeder stream to what He's called you to do, what He's designed, and your original design is. It develops into that. And then there are people who are attracted to and begging and waiting for you to offer what you carry and what you're called to and who you are, because you belong with them, and then you need what they carry. Like, there's so much belonging when you're walking in true identity. So I pray that you would experience that. Find it. If you want coaching, work with me, go to sterlingandstonecoaching.com or sterlingandstonementoring.com. And they both go to the same place. So I should have said sterlingandstonementoring.com, but they both go to the same place. And I bless you to stop waiting, stop procrastinating, doing, stop shaming yourself with a lack of perfection. And I bless you to know that all things are possible. Everything is figure outable, and I'm in it with you. And I'll talk to you in the next episode.